everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another book review. I just recently read On the Map. I can't really remember the name of the author, but it talks about when cartography was actually invented from BC to, well, I should say BCE to CE, or I still call it AD. I'm one of those people. I think that AD is actually more accurate than CE, but everybody else says CE, so I'm still saying AD. Sorry. But it's really quite a magnificent book. It's very informative. It speaks of where the word journey comes from, where the word limelight is, the origin of that particular word, the use of digital maps and the Marauders map and Skyrim and the Muppets, how they parody actually traveling by map. And I thought, oh yeah, I remember that. It was such a fond, nostalgic thought. And even though it was a very short book, it was extremely meaningful, and it just signifies how maps have changed our lives and how some people have used them for for wrongdoing rather than for the right purpose. And I was remembering one, I forget the name of the person who had actually done this particular map, but they had delineated the society of itself, and they stated where the wealthy citizens, I think this was in England, I can't remember the name of the man who did this, but it was, I think, pre-Victorian England, if I'm not mistaken. I can't recall the name of the man responsible, but oh man, he was definitely uppity. But he had one group labeled here that was, they were the rich people, and then you had one that were criminal, and the lower class. I thought, oh, so there's no in between? Yikes! Talk about very narrow-minded and gee whiz. But I saw another map that was very similar to that. It had, in one part, it had rich, and then the rest had losers. I thought, this is just as bad as the other map from the pre-Victorian era. And then it talks about how Lonely Planet changed the world with their guides. And I actually have a lot of Lonely Planet books myself, but I haven't really looked into Lonely Planet books because I haven't been overseas. But at some point in time, it's my aspiration and dream and goal to travel to different places. Israel would be my first goal because I wanted to go this year, but you know what happened. That's my bucket list destination. And of course, second would be Japan, and third would be Argentina. Due to obvious reasons, if you've watched my channel before, you know that there were Ashkenazic Jews in my family, and a lot of them are buried over at the Buenos Aires cemetery. So I'm thinking, that is fascinating. Now I have to discover this. Who is actually, if there are people that are still alive in my family, I need to know, and I would love to connect with them. I don't know if they would want anything to do with me, but it would be interesting because I'm not sure when the schism in my family occurred, but I know my side is evangelistic. Well, actually, we're Protestant, but I grew up in a mostly WASP neighborhood, rather conservative. I'm not really that, I'm still moderately so now. I guess the test that I took said I was neoliberal, but I thought, well, that's different. I never thought of myself as a liberal, but that was completely not what I was thinking that I was, but maybe the test has some efficacy. I don't know. But nonetheless, I consider myself an independent. I don't really lean one way or the other. I try to be an egalitarian and a humanitarian, and I think people should be treated equally, but maybe I'm just one of those pie-in-the-sky people, and everybody's like, oh, you're not practical, but nonetheless, I'm getting off topic. The book itself is really outstanding. If you're interested in cartography like I am, I didn't think that I would be. I thought, oh, this is really interesting. I never thought I would be engaged by the writing, but the writing is so good. It's so rich and rife with so much information. I mean, it's almost too much information to partake, but it's absolutely sensational and brilliant in the way that this author writes. And unfortunately, his name escapes me because I don't have the book in front of me. But if you're like me and you're just curious about the nature of geography and Mappa Mundi, or the map of the world, and how there's a big atlas, I forget where it is, there's a picture of the author with it, and it's the biggest one. I think it broke the Guinness book. I forget where it is, but there are lots of different pictures of different places, and even places like the Kingdom of Kong, which never really existed. And of course they had the map to Neverland, which J.M. Barrie, actually he was reputed to be able to fold a map in such a way that it looked like he was a master cartographer or geographer. And I thought, ooh, Mr. Barrie had some hidden talent. But beyond that, I can say I highly recommend the book. And if you're like me and something like that catches your eye, read it, because usually you're going to be in for the adventure of a lifetime. You never know what you're going to get. It's just like when you go on a trail that a map has. The trail that a map actually delineates is very accurate, and it will not steer you wrong unless, of course, something has been corrected, or maps can change over time. Something has been done to repair or replace, or maybe there's population has increased. There are a lot of different factors that can alter a road or pathway depending on what it is, but nonetheless, a lot of paths remain the same because they're old highways or Indian trails or etc. And usually those remain fairly unchanged over time. That's about all I got to say about On the Map. So until next time, live long and prosper. Ciao, tutti.